In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up the Python development environment on Windows. So here, you're looking at my Windows 10 desktop. And since we're developing with Python, first thing we're gonna do is to install Python. Actually, before I get to that, we're gonna use the terminal quite a bit to issue command line commands. So the Windows provides some of the default terminal windows for executing command lines. So for example, you've got like the command prompt. You also have the PowerShell. There's a few of the PowerShell terminal windows. If you got Visual Studio installed, you also have some of the PowerShell for Visual Studio as well. But there's a lot of those things. It can be a little confusing. Now, my recommendation to you is to install Windows Terminal app. And so the way to install that, so first we'll go to the Microsoft Store. And then you search for Windows Terminal. And the very first one would be it. Okay, so click onto this. Make sure this is developed by Microsoft. So this is the one. I already have this installed. If it's, you're gonna just click on install here and have this installed. So once you have it, since we're gonna use this a lot, I put this on my sort of a quick launch tab here on the taskbar. So I have this icon here. This is for Windows Terminal. You just drag onto this from the menu. So once you have this installed, you're gonna have Windows Terminal. So you can, drag onto here so that you can quickly launch it. So we're here now. First thing you want to check. I don't know whether you already have this set up. So first thing is check we have Python installed. So actually, you can just run Python command, but typically if you want to check if you have this installed, just actually dash a version to check the version of a Python without running the program. So when you just type Python command, it runs the interactive program, and then you can type in commands in Python code. So here we're just checking the Python version. So we have a 3.9, which is the latest major and the minor versions there, and that's good. So if you don't have it, the best way to install it here is to go to Microsoft Store again and search for Python. So you want to select 3.9. Okay, this is the latest one. So essentially, this is released by Python Software Foundation. And then you install this, okay? So once you have that, and then it should work in your terminal, and then you'll find that you have Python installed. So this is, first thing is to get this Python installed. Now, next thing we want to install is the Visual Studio Code if you don't have it. And this is where to go to install. Essentially open up a browser. Essentially we can just Google VS Code. All right, so you see this website here and there's a download link. I click on download. Okay, so right here is the binary for Windows. You can just click on this button. You just will automatically pick the version that is suitable for your system. Or you can just click on, you can choose 64-bit or 32-bit. What if we, if you just click on this, is this going to pick 64x64, so which is fine. So by default, I think that link is going to be okay. You just pick that. So download that executable, which is the installer, and then you run the installer to install VS Code. code. So Visual Studio Code is free. It's a very good IDE, and it's lightweight. It's pretty modern, and it supports pretty much all languages that you want to develop with through the extensions. And Microsoft is behind this software. And many of the popular extensions for VS Code is developed by Microsoft. So suppose you got this installed, then you launch VS Code. Now, what I like to do is, if we're writing code and then we want to just have some proper folder structure, so what I like to do, I have a dev folder, and let's say we have a folder for, let's say, Python. So we have that created, and then you launch this Python folder from command line with a code command. So essentially, we just launch a VS Code with a path, a folder, and then open up this VS Code app, all right? Okay. And so now we are here. We're going to actually install a few things. First is the Python extension. And choose the one from Microsoft and click on install. Okay, so this is installed. Now let's actually test this out. What we're going to do is we're going to write a hello world. All right, let's add a new file, call it hello.py. And then we just have one simple statement, hello world, save. Okay, so I don't want to show this page anymore. It says linter pylint is not installed. Let's install the pylint, which will help you format your code. And then this getting started page, we don't need to see that. Just close it and save this file. And by the way, right now we're running a local Python program on Windows. So let's test this, make sure this works. Now here, when we're installing the pylint, it says the pip version is out of date, and wanted us to upgrade. So actually, let's upgrade pip. Now pip is just copy this command right here. All right. Pip is the package manager for Python. So it's a good idea to keep your tools up to date, right? So this is kind of a quick thing that we'll take care of here. Now we have this Python program, and let's actually run this through this this icon here. Actually, they just ran it. It prints out hello world. Okay, it works. This is for local Python development on Windows. So if you've taken Python class before, probably already have this set up. Now, we actually want to, since we're working on IoT projects, we want to actually write Python code and execute it on the Pi. Okay, suppose you have the Pi set up properly with SSH access. And actually, let's see, we have set up on this computer. 2021. Now, on this computer, I did not set up the passwordless SSH access. So I set it, last time when I recorded a video, I used a different computer. So you don't need to put in the password here if you set it up properly. Okay, so I'm gonna type in the password. Okay, this is just a test that I can, access my Pi. My Pi is booted up properly, right? I'm gonna get out of this thing here. Now, to be able to develop remotely on the Pi, first install the Remote SSH extension. So you just search for Remote SSH. The one from Microsoft is the one to install. This is the one, so install this. Okay, now we have it. So you'll notice, actually, you see this green icon on the bottom left with some, the angle brackets like this shape right here. This is a letting you know you already have the remote plugin installed. Now that's actually remote into, click on this. We say we're going to connect to host. Add a new SSH host. We're going to do type in SSH pi at RP 2021 -A. And we need to select the SSH configuration file. I'll just select the one that's local to my user folder. Okay. And then on the bottom right, it has a little pop-up here. I say connect. And then the firewall shows up, and I'll say this is on a private network. It's on my home, so allow access. Let's click on retry. The platform of remote host, click on Linux. And then we need to put in the password for the Pi user. Now, if you got your passwordless SSH access, you probably will not be prompted for that password right there, but because you're, I hope that just works. And again, this computer doesn't have that set up. This will, yeah, okay. You selected Linux as a remote platform. This will be stored in the setting. Say don't show again. All right. It's a new window. When you do a remote session, it's actually a new window. It's different from your local window. You still have your local window open there. This is a local running locally. So if you look at the other one at the bottom left, this will show you SSH RP 2021. So that means we are right now accessing it. All the files are going to be on the Pi on this host. So as it just opened, it doesn't have a folder opened up. So we're going to open a folder. So when you click on open folder, this is actually showing you the folders on the Pi, okay, in this particular path, which is the user path for that Pi user. And we don't have any folders there yet. So actually what I like to do is, and then this folder does not exist. Actually, I do want to use let's actually cancel this out. Now, you also notice there's a terminal open right here. If you open a terminal, I mean, this is already logged into the Pi. So I'm already at the user home here. So I'm going to make a new folder called dev. This is where I'm going to put my code, all right? So I'm going to open the folder there under dev and then click OK. And then it says we need to put in the password again. So that's why you need to get the password list set up properly. Okay, so that's that. All right, let's actually write a hello world. So it's suggesting to install a plugin on the remote host, and that suggestion is fine. I think we do need to have that installed so we can do, if you want it, you can debug in that on the Pi as well. So we're going to say install on the Pi. This is the plugin for the VS Code running on the Pi. Okay, so we have that. So simple hello world. Okay, it says we need to select the Python interpreter. So on the Pi, this is actually on the Pi. This is the Python interpreter on the Pi. And so you want to pick the Python 3. So by default, that is the Python 3 installed on the Pi 3.7. So we're going to just use, okay, there's a couple of different options here. And so the option, which one to pick. We're just going to pick this user bin Python 3.7. Let's see if this works. Okay. All right, that should be fine. Okay, now let's run this. Okay, it works. So it's, as you see, this is executing on the Pi. This is no longer running on your Windows. Okay. So this is it. So I kind of switched to my Windows computer. I don't have the passwordless SSH set up, and I'm going to set up after this video. But for your situation, your experience should be, you should not be getting prompted for password whenever you launch a remote session. So let me close this. Let's try again, and probably will connect to host. And then this remembers the RP 2021. And let's see, it asks for password every time. And that's why the passwordless SSH is important here. Otherwise, it's not a very smooth experience. Okay, so if you have your SSH set up properly, this should not happen. And so you just launch a new remote window like this. Whenever you're programming, writing a program that you want to run on the Pi, then this is what you do. You launch this remote session. So you will actually, the files are going to be transported to the Pi, and then when you're debugging, also that works on the remote, the Pi as well. So that's but you're actually using your Windows to do the development, which is convenient. And that's why I say initially, you only need a keyboard and mouse to set up the Pi initially, but then you don't really need to use it anymore. You will be programming or accessing it through this remote access, either SSH or VNC to look at the remote desktop. So that's pretty much it. I want to show you about this setup. Let me know if you have any questions in the discussion board. Okay.